Party people in the place to be. You are now in the midst of a real MC. Throw your hands in the air if you're real as me. Ooh!
All right, let's talk brand. Britt's Bikini and Swimwear. That's your brand. You started here in Raleigh like a couple years ago, right?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so tell me about that. When you got the idea for the brand, was that the same time that you decided to go forward in creating it, or was it like a little bit of time in between? How did that work?
So it was actually a little bit of time in between.
Okay.
I'm just going to give you a little synopsis as to why I started. So I used to be really heavy in working out. So everyone knew on social media, like I was always like showing my body off, but it would be in athleisure.
Right, for sure.
And I had a guy that I was friends with, and he actually made a comment to me and was like, all you do is show your body on social media. Do you have anything else to offer? So I said...
All right. Okay, I got you, though.
So I was like, oh, that's kind of mean. So I took that negative comment and turned that into swimwear. And now I'm making money off of showing my body.
That's so cool. Just because it's funny, you're the first story that I've heard like that came from a negative comment. But the funny thing is, so did Fly by Nature. Like somebody said some negative stuff to me. And then that's what spawned, the motivation, inspiration to create the brand. It was just cool. I just made that connection. I like that you were able to turn a negative to a positive. So then what?
So then after that, that's when I started Britt's Bikini and Swimwear. But I started that in 2020.
Got you.
And I got my LLC finalized April 20th. And after
that, day before my birthday.
Yeah.
All right. April 20th.
So after that, I noticed a lot of people, they wanted swimwear. So when I did it, I sold out within 24 hours. And then when I realized I could make $1,000 in less than 24 hours, I was like, oh yeah, this is for me.
Yeah.
So then once when the fall time came, I was like, what am I going to do? So I was at the dinner table with my dad and his girlfriend and my sisters. And something just told me, Brittany, like, pop your AirPods in and get to work. And
at the dinner table?
At the dinner table, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I popped my AirPods in and then I started purchasing stuff, like my inventory. And then I was scared to do it, but I knew like with me being scared to do that, it was meant for me to actually do it. So then that's when I started BBS. Well, it was called Your Body. So then with that, that's when I had whipped body butters and I also had exfoliating scrubs.
Got you.
So I was like, you know what? Since I have Britt's Bikini and Swimwear, I need to like do something that's different. So instead of it being Your Body, it was BBSW Skin. Well, that's what it is now. And the reason behind me doing BBSW Skin is because I have... the reason behind me doing BBSW Skin is because I have eczema. So in the African American community, that's something that's very common, and I wanted to do something that caters to us.
Yeah, definitely.
And considering that I found a cure, because I know I'm eczema free now, so
nice.
I found a cure within myself, and I wanted to help other people, so that's why I did skincare. And then exfoliating, I just want everybody to, feel good about their skin. So,
that's noble. I like that though. And so correct me if I'm wrong, within your one brand, there are other branches.
Correct.
So it's like miniature brands almost.
Correct.
Because you got different lines within the brand. So let's name them all for me. So the head is Britt's Bikini and Swimwear.
Correct.
So that's why it's BBSW when you're naming the other branches.
Yes.
Gotcha. So we have BBSW Skin.
BBSW Skin, BBSW Athletics. I'm doing candles, so that's like my new business right now.
Yeah, that's a hot commodity. Everybody loves candles for sure.
But my candles are going to be a little different. I'm also doing lingerie, but that's limited for Valentine's Day.
Got you. So it's like a limited edition line.
Yeah. And that's in BBSW Skin. We said that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it as of right now.
So how did you know to? I find that a lot of people don't function like that when they do businesses. Like they would just go ahead and totally make like something totally different, or like meaning like a different brand, and it wouldn't even have any relation to the first brand that they created. So they literally are saying like, I got 2 brands, but you could say you have multiple brands, and you could also say you have one, which is unique, which is great. But how did you know to do that and to function those within the umbrella of your one? Like, where did you get that idea or that understanding?
So one of my friends actually told me to do that.
Okay, yeah. All right. And that's what's up though. Homage where it's due, for real.
He told me because he was just like, you have so many different, you're doing your body, and then you have athletic wear, and then you're going skin. Like it's so much. So he was just like, just like how Rihanna has Fenty and she has Savage. She was just like, just make one umbrella so that it can make sense.
Right, exactly. And even like people would think, the different entities and the different brands, they don't relate. So it's like, we should just keep it separate. But I do like the idea of keeping it one. All my entrepreneurs out there listening, that was just like a major key right there. If you're like trying to get into different lanes, into different things, but you are still, found one thing or one brand that was like that initial foundation, just keep it under the same umbrella. It can make more sense legally and everything like that. Okay, so when you started, let's just be transparent and talk pros and cons. Was it scary? Like, I believe so. You're basically saying that you started a brand during the pandemic. Interesting. Because I've seen the pandemic bring a lot of entrepreneurship out of people, because it forced people to have to do things and provide for themselves in ways that they might not. The world was different. Like, we were shut down or very, very limited. So a lot of places that didn't have essential workers, they just weren't open. So how do those people still make money? We were still getting money. The economy was still maintaining because people were getting stimulus and like loans and things like that. So there was money to spend, but a lot of people had to figure out different ways to make money. Would you say that the pandemic had anything to do with like the timing of your brand?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because I knew that I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. When I worked at this company, I told them, and it's crazy because this is 3 years ago. I worked at this company and I told them, I'm no longer going to work for you guys. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And they laughed at me. So 3 years later, or 2 years later, I'm now an entrepreneur, and now I go to that facility.
I was about to say, I would definitely be going back in there. I go to the facility,
and then, one day I was sitting down with my swatches, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I told y'all I was doing this."
Right.
And they were just like, "What?"
Right.
I was like, "Yeah, here's my debit card. Here's my credit card." Now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they was just like, "Oh, wow. Like, I didn't think you would really do it." And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah. That has to feel good, too.
It does.
You think you got more support, or you got more pushback when you first started?
Both.
So maybe like a almost like little 50-50?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was more so family that gave me more of the pushback.
And it's crazy? They probably wouldn't even call it pushback if you asked them, because they would just, it's funny working, like having your family know your real ambitions and dreams, because out of love, they could sometimes try to steer you and talk you out of what God has for you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, our parents literally are doing the best that they can in what they know. So for my parents to say like, you should go out here, go to school, work hard, get good degrees and stuff so that you could get a good job. That's the system that they grew up in. They didn't grow up in this booming millennial age of technology. It wasn't as easy back then as it was for us now to make money. and to make different moves. I could sit at home and my dad could be like, what are you doing in your phone like all afternoon? And I just show him like, hey, Dad, we just sold out on the website. Like from the crib, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that your family probably was being hateful in the things that they were saying. They were just telling you the best that they knew. But how did that go though? When you say pushback, like
it was I don't want to say like they weren't supportive, because I don't want to say that, but when you start off doing something, because your parents, like you said, they want you to be that nurse, they want you to be that lawyer.
For sure, the traditional safe route. Yeah.
And it was just like, that's not what I wanted to do, but I did that because I went to school. I'm still a biology major.
Nice.
But, when I went to school, I was doing that more so for my parents.
My family, yeah.
So it really wasn't like a me thing. And I love science.
Like,
I'm a nerd. So, I love science.
You were a science nerd in school,
But so I love science. But at the same time, I always told myself, like, if I go back to school, I'll be a dermatologist. And that would help with my skin career as well. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just felt like my parents, they understood, but they really didn't, because like I said, they wanted me to be this nurse or to be this doctor. And it's like, that's not what I wanted to do.
So where's that at now? Like, was there ever a point where you felt like, okay, this is the moment where I feel like I proved anybody wrong that felt like this really couldn't be possible for me? Or like, it was always like, well, we want you to do it, we believe in you. Or is there a point you feel like, okay, now you believe in me?
All three stages.
All three?
Yeah.
You think you had a time where it was all three?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was that like?
It was kind of hard because I'm a very private person.
Yeah.
So, I really didn't tell my parents what I was doing until I had inventory.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I sorry, don't even mean to cut you off, but I was watching an interview with Tyler Perry and TD Jakes, and Tyler Perry was saying that sometimes when you have a dream, you have to really treat it like a baby, and you have to keep it safe. And sometimes it's not that you aren't confident in yourself or in your dream, or you don't believe in it enough to vocalize it, but sometimes you just have to nurture it so that it's strong enough that when you do show it, it's already something. You know what I'm saying? You can't expose it too early and let them kill it. Like, I had to start learning that for FBN, times where I would be talking about a design that I wanted to do. I had to stop doing that. And I only would bring it up once I already had it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, I think that's interesting that you didn't say anything until you had inventory. Yeah. So it's like, I do have something to show for my work. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, that piggybacks off of when I was saying, like, when I noticed that I could make that ample amount of money within 24 hours.
Yeah.
I was like,
Lit.
What?
Yeah, for sure. And so now you have 3-4 different branches.
Yeah.
How is that? Is it, do you have to literally divide your time and say like, okay, I need to take an hour out for skincare, I need to take an hour out for athletics? Or do you kind of take care of what needs to take care of as it sees fit?
I do it as it sees fit because I'm also the brand ambassador for Urban Skin RX. Yeah, so I have to make content for them. Okay. And then I make content for myself. So, doing that, it works because as I'm doing Urban Skin RX stuff, I can like incorporate my skincare into that. So that works. So I can knock that out. But like athleisure, I have to find a time when I really want to work out and like, get that together. Bikinis, I have to figure out a studio time and place, so it all like fits and coordinates together because I'm everywhere. Like I'm trying to make sure everyone's satisfied, including myself, because, I am the creative director behind it. And with me being the creative director, everything has to be perfect because not only am I looking at it, but I'm like, if I was the buyer, would I like this?
It puts you in a different perspective. I think that's a simple hack for entrepreneurs that they don't realize. So many people have so many questions because they're so inside their head and inside their business that a lot of questions and things could be figured out if you just put yourself from the customer's perspective. Mm-hmm. Like when I buy something, what do I want? Mm-hmm. What do I expect? What turns me on? What turns me off? Mm-hmm. Even like when it comes down to just branding and like fast food, I'm like, what made me decide to go to Chick-fil-A today? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Either it's the consistency with the brand and the recipe, it's the consistency with the customer service, not public service, right? But but you get what I'm saying? Like it's interesting that you already, like I'm saying, you're already knowing this, and I can honestly say, as I'm seeing your journey kind of unfold as you wanted to on social media, and like as you're posting and stuff and promoting and everything, it was just like little things that I was hoping you was just like already on it, like already doing, which is super cool. Like for example, when you had the swimwear, it was like warm. Mm-hmm. It was warm, and then it started getting colder. And as it's getting colder, and like you're still talking about the swimwear, in my head as I'm looking at it, I'm also like, I want like, yo, she be super lit if she like, you know, drops something else that it still doesn't matter like what season it is. Then it's like, then you went ahead and did like the athletic wear. Mm-hmm. I was like, ooh, okay. Then you did like the skincare. I might be getting the order wrong, but all I'm saying is, you know, I was noticing that when you were adding other layers, and it already just seems like you're ahead of your time as far as like being an entrepreneur in the game. Do you think you always had a business mindset even before? Because you were even helping me like with just different stuff with FBN even before you opened up and started your own brand. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how things come full circle, but like, yeah, I'll let you talk about that. Like just always having an eye for that, like business and everything.
Yeah, well, my mom had her own business as well. She was in a bartending business. So, you know, just seeing how she was working with that, it made me like, oh, I can do it too. Like if my mama can do it, then I can do it, you know?
Right, for sure.
So, yeah, I mean, that's basically like where it started because I've always been a hustler. I've always worked hard to get what I want in life. Right. And it's like, my end goal is to not to work for someone, just to have my own stuff, you know? So, yeah, I get it from my mama.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's going to be the dang on quote for this at the end of the interview. Get it from my mama.
Get it from my mama.
Now, you work, so your different jobs, like what are you doing like on a daily basis? Like, is it just, are you only doing the brand or no, you also said you are a brand ambassador?
Yes, I'm doing a plethora of things. Right. So I work for my godparents. They have a women's health clinic.
Nice. Okay.
So I work in HR for them. Part-time, I'm a server.
Nice.
And then I do stuff for Urban Skin RX. Uh-huh. And I have my 4 or 5 businesses that I'm trying to juggle as well. But, you know, I learned as an entrepreneur, you have to make money to spend money or spend money to make money. However,
I say it like it takes dough to make bread.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I swear to goodness.
So, you know, I wasn't going to go back to serving, but I was just like, you know, if that is what's bringing in a lot of money as well, and it's helping me with my inventory, then like, don't try to downplay it.
Serving is super lit.
Yeah.
Serving is one of the best things in anybody that's in school or anybody that has a business can get into. Yeah. Because as soon as I got into serving, I understood that, listen, I can get my money right now. Mm-hmm. I need money today so I can go serve and work and just be personable and make money off of my personality, yo. So like, that's super lit. Yeah. Don't ever, I never downplay serving.
Yeah. And even like with my serving job, because I used to work at a high-end place as well.
Yeah.
And that's where like a lot of my clientele is coming from too.
Nice.
So it's like,
network the networks.
Yeah.
You network the networks.
You have to network. And if you don't, like, even at my job now, like people be like, do you have lotion? I'll be like, yeah, I have some in my car. Actually, I have body butters. And they're like, oh, so da-da-da. I'm like, yeah, here's my business card, or if you don't like this scent, I can make anything for you.
So I heard, right, that's super lit too. I heard you say that, you're shy. So I just want to ask, like, how does that work with, like you saying, with networking and getting yourself out there? Because I sometimes have a battle with the two, because you would say on one hand, like, you know me, but it's so it's like, yo, you're not shy. That may be true because I know you. We grew up together. Now, for like, I'll just say, just for example, I was at Boxcar like a couple nights ago or whatever, and I had on my hoodie, my one of the hoodies, and two people that worked there said something like, and kept saying things about the hoodie. It's my own hoodie from Fly by Nature, from the brand, but I still didn't take the time to tell them that.
Yeah,
you know what
I've
I'm
done
saying?
That a couple of times
so,
too. Yeah.
Right, so it's like, I'm not shy, but I guess when it comes to my craft, because like it's like my baby, my brand, I care about it so much. Sometimes I don't put it out there. Do you find yourself having to battle the two sometime, or like, how do you balance that?
I just think that's something that you have to be confident in yourself.
Yeah.
And I had to work on that as well, because people would ask me, like, I wore my athleisure out one time, and this girl was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cute," and I was like, "Thank you." You know, not even thinking like, "Oh, this is mine." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Thank you." And she was like, "Where'd you get it from?" I was like, "Oh, it's my stuff." You know what I'm saying? And I have to think about like, "Oh, I am wearing something that is, you know, it's fashionable, it's cute." I went to let's just say I'm at like a brunch or whatever, which I was actually at a brunch spot, and I had my athletic wear on, and this girl was like, "Oh, that's real cute. Like, where can I get that from?" And I was like, "Oh, well, here's my business card." So it's just like two different moments, but it's just like the same thing. Like, I had on a different set, but it was like in that moment, my first reaction was, "Oh, thank you," instead of being like, "Oh, this is mine." You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've done that multiple times.
Nah, and like, and I, you know what I think it is too? I think subconsciously, as like entrepreneurs, or if you have something like a brand or something you have ownership of like that, you don't want to be that guy or like that girl to like be the one to like try to like look down or like put yourself above people. Like, well, I do this, like, boom, so here's this, like, and use that every moment. But
it's like you want to be humble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's all. Like, you want to be humble about the stuff you do. A lot of times, like, my closest friends, I remember they used to be the ones like that talk me up. Like, you don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? It was
that
just
happened to me last night.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, we have to understand that. And I mean, I hate to be cliche, but going back to Coach Carter, where the poem, like, you know, he's like, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. You know what I'm saying? And in that poem, he was saying a line like, dimming our light doesn't help others, you know, basically to shine. So there's nothing good from dimming the light that we have inside of us. Like, by me being confident enough to talk about the brand, and by you being confident enough to talk about your brand, that doesn't dim anybody else's light. And I think as entrepreneurs, we got to keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even trying to preach to you. I'm talking to I'm talking to myself just as well, and to everybody that's listening for sure. Now, what's the 5 year, like, what's the short term goals for your business? Like, what's the long term goals?
Well, if you want to be honest,
I do want you to be honest for sure.
So when it comes down to like, because I don't look at it like that. I just have goals in general that like I just write down, and because I feel like if I put a time frame on something, it's just not going to happen the way that I want it to happen. Yeah. And then I'm sitting here like, why didn't I do this, or why is it not like happening? Because it's not my time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So whenever I do my goals, I make sure they're realistic.
That's the key right there. Realistic goals.
I have to have realistic goals, because if not, then I'm setting myself up for failure
and disappointment.
But one of my goals I told myself is that I wanted to be, I'm going to be a millionaire before I turn 30.
It's possible.
I do know that.
Because why not?
I do know that.
Right.
I'm very confident in that.
For sure.
And that all that takes is just being dedicated. Because I look at a lot of people be like, oh, you have to look at your competitors. I don't look at them as my competition because I actually talk to these people. And now since I've gained that confidence to talk to these people, now they're teaching me, you know, how to do this and how to do that.
Right.
So even like I'm cool with a girl. Her name's Owawa on Instagram, and she's an influencer.
Nice.
And now she's like my coach. She's like my mentor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And all it took was me to reach out to her.
It's relationships. Yeah. The power really is in relationships. People think that, you know, it's money, but it's in, well, I'll say it's in relationships and it's in knowledge. My friend broke it down to me like, you know, the secret is worth more than the money because the money can come from anywhere and the money is unlimited, but the knowledge, and he was breaking it down to even like finding like a manufacturer and who you have as your manufacturer. That's what he was calling like the secret. So he was saying that the secret is worth more than the money. You can make as much money as you want to make or have as much money as you want to have. But if you don't have that knowledge of the secret, then it's only so much you can do. Yeah. So the same way the secret is worth more than money, it's about relationships that, you know, it's always because you know something. When I go in the mall and I see clothes on the mannequin that don't look as good as clothes that I've designed, either in real life or in my head, like designs and things I've thought of, I still respect them in the store because what they had was the relationship to get in the store. They knew somebody. Somebody knew about them in some type of way that they could put them in that position. So, like, I definitely respect the fact that you respect the fact that relationships, you know what I'm saying?
They are important.
Right.
They are important because the people that I work with, I have a manufacturer that's in Bali. Nice. Yeah. And then I have a couple that are in California and I have one that's in Atlanta. So whenever because, you know, COVID is here. So whenever the restrictions are lifted or whatever, they invited me to come to, I think it's called a look room, a watch room. A showroom. That's
a showroom.
So they told me, you know, when that's super lit. Yeah. So I can come up there and like pick out stuff and, you know, just work with them. Yeah. So yeah, relationships are important.
Right. And like, I used to be, and I still am like very big on loyalty and, it once, you know, starting with people, you know, they said, well, my day one's been here since day one. Like, you know, but trying to finish what we started, you know what I'm saying? But in the same way, I used to really live by like that. No new friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? And not even open myself up to the possibility of other relationships that can just strengthen what we have going on. You can still be loyal, but still be open to meeting new people and forming new relationships. Saying that to say, it's totally cool that you have different manufacturers in different places without feeling like you have to just stick with one because that might be the like first one or whatever it may be, you know. But I don't want to get out of here without you telling people where they can find you and find all of your different things that you have going on, you know, because they're tuned in right now. So where can they go to find all of Brit? Bikini and swimwear.
So you guys can actually follow me on Instagram. My main page is Brittany, BRITTANY, the letter J, WE, B as in boy, B as in boy. And then my business pages are Brit's Bikini and Swimwear, and then BBSW Skin and BBSW Athletics. So yeah, that's where they can find me as of right now.
Cool.
Okay.
You guys heard it first. I appreciate you coming through and chopping it up with me. This is a great talk. But you know, like we have business talk, so this isn't different. Right. It's just that this one was recorded. But you know, it's all good, man. I appreciate you and we'll see you guys back here next week. Same time, same place. Peace.